Hey everybody, it's Mary with the Painted Peach. Today I'm in a new playlist. I'm excited to be a part of it. I'll let you know all about it here shortly, but for now I want to go ahead and get started on this super easy corn craft. I found this cutout on Pinterest. I'll try to find the link and put it in the description for you in case you wanted to do this with some grandchildren or children, or just do it maybe in fabric for a display for your Thanksgiving time or fall decor. We're going to do it a little bit of a kid version today. So I'm cutting out this pattern and I'm putting it on cardstock just to make it a little bit more sturdy. So I'm using Mod Podge to do that. So I cut them in strips and then I'm going to Mod Podge each one on. You could have just Mod Podged the whole thing, but I didn't know if my paper was too big, so I went that route. I'm just using a squeegee to add my Mod Podge onto my cardstock, and then I will add each individual printable to the cardstock. We have them all on the cardstock. I'm going to make sure they're dry, and then we're going to cut each one out individually. They're all cut out. I'm going to take this Folk Art ochre color, ochre. Somebody tell me how to say this. Anyways, I'm going to add that to each of the patterns and paint them all with it. Then we're going to take the color Maize and we're going to go over it a little bit with that. Now this is going to be in our background, but I did want to color it the colors that will be in the front, so in case it showed through, it wouldn't be white. Now I have 3 strips of bubble wrap. 2 are longer than the other, and that's okay. We're going to end up cutting one of our patterns a little bit smaller to fit the bubble wrap. I'm going to start out using some colors that you would see in Indian corn. I'm going to use the yellow that we used on the background. I'm going to use kind of a fuchsia color, and then a red, an orange, and I end up using brown and maybe another color. But I'm going to use these, and we're going to take a brush, a small foam brush, and we're going to put these colors in different areas all over the bubble wrap. Now that we have them all painted to look like Indian corn, we're going to give them a good dry, and then we're going to get out our cardstock, and we're going to take some Mod Podge, and we're going to glue each of these pieces of bubble wrap straight onto our painted pattern. I'm so excited to be a part of this collaboration with the Talented Creators Collaboration. Please check out all of these hosts and check out the playlist link in my description and go over and watch everybody in one place. Okay, now I have some packing paper. I prefer the brown packing paper, but this is all I had in my studio at this time, so we're gonna go with this. I'm just cutting out some strips of it, and we're gonna need at least one for each of our pieces of corn, and then we're gonna split them down the middle. So I had an extra one, I set that to the side. I'm gonna take some distressed oxide, and we're gonna distress these. I'm going to start out with using the linen color, and we're going to go all over the papers. Oopsie. And then we're going to crumple our papers up because we want them to be kind of like a corn husk, and so we want them to be a little bit wrinkled up. So once I get this linen on each of them, we'll go ahead and crumple them up. Just be careful when you're crumpling not to tear them. Once we get these all crumpled up, we're going to take our darker distressed oxide called Vintage Photo, and we're going to go all over them and hit those wrinkles. Don't press too hard, you just want to hit the wrinkles. You could totally skip this step if you don't like the dirty look. I thought this added to the look of the Indian corn, and I think this would be super fun for kids to do also. Now that we've got them all distressed, we're going to get our corn out, we're going to figure out how it's going to go, and then we're going to take our scissors and we're going to cut strips right down the center of each of those papers. One of our corn is shorter, so it will go in the middle, and the two longer ones will be on the outside. I'm also going to cut a point at the end of each of these because that is how corn husks are. They're to a point. And then we're going to cut down the middle, like I said. I really do think this would be a fun project for school-age kids, but also I could see this being done with some fabric and making some decorations for your Thanksgiving table, or even some pillows like this would be super cute for the primitive look. Okay, now that we have our papers cut, we're going to crumple them at the bottom a little bit so that we can glue them to the back of each piece of corn. This is how they'll look together. I'm just making sure I like it, and I'm really digging it. I do wish I would have had the brown paper, but it is what it is. I think corn husks are more this color anyway. So I'm going to glue each piece of paper to each piece of corn, and then we're going to glue all of the corn together also. Here I decided I wanted my corn to be a little distressed, so I got out some burnt umber and that same brush I used earlier to add the yellow, and I'm just going to take a little bit of that and run it over our corn. This is definitely a step you can skip if you don't want yours to look dingy or dirty. You could also distress it with your Distress Oxide. My paint was still a little bit wet, so I didn't want to use my Distress Oxide. All right, now I'm going to take some of this Excelsior and we're going to add it to the top of each of our corn. This is going to look like the little corn hairs that stick out, or at least that's what I think. I'm going to ball it up and get it bunched up pretty good and then pull it apart and add a little bit to the front of this bundle, and then we'll add some to the back as well. And now we're just gluing them all together into a bunch. We're going to give it a little trim on all those little hairs, just a little bit so it's not hanging down so much. And then we're going to get out some fabrics. We're going to make a cute little bow for the front of this corn bundle. I have some of these primitive patterned fabrics, and that's what we're going to use. I'm just going to rip a strip of this, and then I have a coffee stained linen fabric that we're going to use with it as well. We're just going to make a simple little bow here with 2 strips of each color crisscrossing. And then we're going to add that to the front of our bundle along with a shoestring bow of some jute twine. I really think this turned out adorable, and there can be so many possibilities with doing this. I'd love to know what you think in the comments. I know this isn't something that you would typically do, but I just thought about making something a little different and with the use of corn today. Again, I'm really thankful for being a part of this playlist. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you did, please give me a like, subscribe to my channel, let me know in the comments, and come back another day. You can always hit that bell and it'll let you know whenever I go live or if I upload a video. All right, so let's see the final reveal. Thanks for stopping by today, and remember, stay peachy. See you next time.